Okay, today we're going to be working on solving geometry problems by setting up equations. So I'm going to give you a few tips that I think will be helpful. The first one that I'd like you to keep in mind is you should always be drawing a picture or diagram. That really helps with geometry word problems. And then label everything that you know. Define your variables. Try to relate them to each other so you don't get stuck with 2 or 3 or 4 variables and then not know what to do. Try to come up with just one x or one y and then relate them to each other. Then you're going to set up an equation and solve for your variable. And then you want to make sure to go back and answer the question that's asked in words. Always make sure you're asking what's asked and not just saying x equals 7 or something like that. Okay, so you always want to make sure you say what's really being asked for. Okay, we're going to try 2 problems today. The first one's this. The length of a rectangle is 5 more than 10 times the width. The perimeter of the rectangle is 230 centimeters. Your task is going to be to find the length and the width of the rectangle. So the length and the width are the 2 things that you don't know right now, and we're going to attempt to relate them to each other. So first of all, I'm going to draw a picture. So I've got my rectangle here, and I know that the length is 5 more than 10 times the width. Since the length is being compared to the width, it's smart to call width x, or just your regular variable. If you're going to make an expression that says 5 more than 10 times the width, in algebra we'd call that 10x plus 5. Okay, so length, I'm going to call that 10x plus 5. Okay, the last thing that we're looking at is the perimeter. The perimeter is 230 centimeters. So you may notice when you're dealing with perimeter, you need to get all 4 sides. So we need to do this x and this 10x plus 5 as well. So we're going to add up all 4 sides to get the perimeter. So you might start your equation in a few different ways. You might just do x plus 10x plus 5 plus x plus 10x plus 5. That all has to add up to 230. That's one option. You could also do, of course, 2 times x plus 2 times 10x plus 5, the quantity, equals 230. Do an equation that seems comfortable to you and one that you can figure out. And then we're going to go about collecting our like terms. So here I've got x, 10x, x, and another 10x. That adds up to 22x. Then I've got a 5 and another 5. That adds up to 10. So I have a simplified equation, 22x plus 10 equals 230. And I'm going to solve this by doing the same thing to both sides. So I'll subtract 10 from both sides and get 22x equals 220. And then I would divide both sides by 22 and get x equals 10. Okay, so I've solved for x, but I haven't actually answered what's being asked. In the question it says find the length and the width of the rectangle. So here if I plug x back in, that is my width, 10. And my length is 10 times 10 plus 5. So my length is 105. I should go about labeling these, so a good answer in words would be something to the effect of the length is 105 centimeters, the width is 10 centimeters. So we labeled it, we answered in words, and we have a good answer there. Okay, I'm going to do one last problem. This one says the first side of a triangle is 9 more than the second. The third side of the triangle is double the length of the second side. The perimeter of the triangle is 37 inches. What's the length of each side? So this time I'm dealing with a triangle. So I don't usually bother drawing to scale, but I got some sort of triangle here. And I'm looking for the length of each side, so I need to figure out expressions for the first side, the second side, and the third side. And then I'm going to actually just put in here too, first, second, third, so I can kind of keep track of what's what. When I read this, I want to kind of see what they're all being compared to. It says the first side of a triangle is 9 more than the second. The third side of the triangle is double the length of the second. So they're both being compared to the second side. So it usually makes it the easiest if you call the second side x. Then it says the first side of a triangle is 9 more than the second. In math, more than means add. So I'm going to take that x and add 9. So So the first side is x plus 9. And then it says the third side is double the length of the second side. If the second side is x, the third side will be twice as big as x, or 2x. So I'm going to call this 2x. And then lastly, it says the perimeter of the triangle is 37 inches. To get the perimeter of a triangle, all you have to do is add up all the sides. So I'm going to do x plus 9 plus x plus 2x equals 37. Okay, and then again, I'm going to combine all my like terms. X plus 2x is 4x. So 4x plus 9 equals 37. Subtract 9 from both sides. I get 4x equals 28. And when I divide both sides by 4, I get x equals 7. So I'm almost done with the problem. I say x is 7. It's great. But I have to figure out all the sides. So the first side would be 7 plus 9, or 16. And then the third side would be 2 times 7, or 14. So I think the sides are 16 inches, 7 inches, and 14 inches. And I should do a double check, make sure that adds up to 37. Well, 16 plus 14 is 30, plus 7 is 37. So this works out, and that's my final answer. Okay, thanks for watching. If you need some review, go ahead and try watching some of this again, and I will see you guys in class.